Brilliance Audio presents Do You Feel It Too? By Nicola Rendell. Performed by Rock Engel and C.J. Bloom. The first time I saw her, there were fireworks. Actual fireworks. It was the 4th of July on River Street in Savannah. It had been a long time since I'd spent the 4th in the States. A year ago, I'd been in the Yukon province chasing down the Yeti. The year before, I was outside Nogales hunting for the chupacabra. I'd missed the hell out of 4th of July fireworks, but all the explosions in the sky that night had nothing on her. She was across the park from me, maybe 50 feet away. The hot and humid night air made halos around the dim park lights. She was like an angel out there, like a goddamned vision. Red shorts, white t-shirt, sneakers. She had long, dark hair arranged over one shoulder, sexy tan thighs, and a delicate line of cleavage. Fuck, she was gorgeous. She knelt down, like she'd dropped a contact or an earring. I began to stand to go help her, but stopped myself. She wasn't searching. She was working, peeling a line of duct tape off an audio cable on the ground. Before the fireworks, the mayor had given a speech in Emmett Park, and a brass quartet had played as the sun set. It looked to me like she'd been the one doing the audio for it. In one hand, she gathered the tape into a ball, and with the other, she made neat loops of the cord that it had been covering. She followed the tape and wire to the edge of the sidewalk and over the curb to the back of a white van. Her curves and softness disappeared behind its open back doors, so that all I could see were her calves and her navy blue Converse. By the light of a series of fireworks exploding overhead, I saw the van's logo. It was a flower with microphones as petals and an extension cord as the stem. Under that were the words, "Sounds good. Turning Savannah up to 11 since 2011!" Exclamation point.
The next morning, I was doing some breakfast-time nephew watching at my sister's apartment so that she could enjoy her coffee, get rid of her grays, and generally have a baby-free morning to herself. While my nephew crawled around on the television room rug, I attempted to knit a hat for him. The 15th time had to be a charm. But no matter how many pearls and knits I tried to string together, I found that I still couldn't shake my thoughts of Gabe, the possibly broken-nosed hunk. Even with the marked facial swelling, he'd been positively dreamy. I really and truly did feel awful for almost knocking him unconscious with the mic stand. That sort of thing wasn't my style at all. When it came to men, I preferred to reject them by slowly failing to reply to their text messages. I preferred to go out with a fizzle rather than a bang. But he was so sexy. I found myself thinking less about fizzling and a whole lot more about banging. Because that face, that jawline, those shoulders, my goodness. He was tall, dark, handsome, and also strangely familiar, but I couldn't place the face. Maybe he had one of those faces, I thought, as I tried to remember if I was supposed to be purling or knitting. Rugged stubble, cheekbones. One of those faces that really belonged on television. I refocused on my needles. Was that a pearl? Did I even really know how to purl? Or, oh, for God's sake, I muttered at my yarn as I ripped out a row. My nephew planted his hands on the pink shag carpeting and dragged his knees along, occasionally off-gassing with the effort of this newfound mode of transportation. He made my heart ache with love. I was more than his auntie, really. After his dad left my sister, I'd stepped in as sort of auntie/father/all-purpose co-parent. His birth father was named Boris, a suspiciously dashing Russian photographer who'd done a midnight flit back to Mother Russia on an airline that nobody had ever heard of, never to be heard from again. But to his credit, he'd left behind the most fabulous little boy on the planet. His name was Ivan. After the Tsar, obviously.